With details regarding the WWE investigation into Vince McMahon's hush money scandal revealed and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. When asked if he missed his old WWE theme song, Sami Zayn told Metro that no, I don't. Honestly, I wanted to change that song for a while. I thought I had it for too long, 2 years too long, maybe 3 years too long. Once I became a bad guy, I felt it should have switched right away. Vince McMahon had a bit of a different mindset about it, which I see his point. It reached a point where it didn't match the character anymore, especially when I was doing the conspiracy stuff. I have a soft spot for that conspiracy theory stuff because it was just so creatively stimulating at the time. All this to say, the music, I thought it was really good for my time in NXT, it was really good for my time early up on the main roster, but then the character evolved, and as the character evolves, I think that music, Worlds Collide, is not even great music that can be applied to whatever. It can't just go to any character, and as the character evolves, it felt very specific to that character, the plucky underdog. That song that it used to come out was very anthemic. It was such a huge part of the character, and the fan interaction, and for sure, I'd be partial something that can engage the audience, that has that kind of football stadium thing that everyone can get involved in. I was like, oh man, I want to come out to that song, just can't get enough now. I was come out and get all of these people singing, I just can't get enough, I just can't get enough, that'd be awesome. But I don't know if we can license that or anything like that. But something that has that sort of quality to it, which is really hard to do with original music, something I can really dance to or commit to with my entrance, I think that's an important quality too. My big problem with Worlds Apart was it actually was very hard to dance to. On his podcast, former WWE star Ryback had this to say about wanting to be Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg's final opponent in pro wrestling. Nothing was ever like a dig. I like Bill. We met. I want to be his last match. I think that the story is built in. Or a regular match if he's not ready to have his last match. I like Bill. I've never had any hate or animosity or anything. I was never trying to be Bill. Speaking about her departure from WWE after signing with the promotion in 2018, Xia Brookside told Busted Open Radio, I was signed for 4 years. I was 19 and signing, and so much has changed since then. Like, the indies 4 years ago compared to what they are now, like, it's a completely different ballgame. There's so many more females over here now as well, and I'm just excited to, like, get back out there and try new things. I've got something big coming up that I'm not allowed to talk about. It's a surprise. I feel like there's so many doors open now. I don't feel restricted in any way. I know deep down in my heart that that door is still open. So it may not be now. It may not be next week, but like, I know if I work hard enough, I can get back there. Touching on the segment from the May 18th Dynamite where he was whipped by MJF, Wardlow admitted to Fightful that, to be 100% honest, I was really dreading that. Obviously, being whipped with a belt, it's kind of hard to go into that thinking positively. The adrenaline from the crowd is something you really can't explain until you felt it. When he smacked me that first time in my head, I'm like, gosh, this is gonna suck. Then he did it and I was like, that was it? That smile on my face was genuine because it was me going, oh, this is easy, keep them coming. It wasn't too bad. Thank God for adrenaline. I had some red marks, but I have thick skin, maybe. Recalling a time that Vince McMahon told Big Show to kick out of his finisher, Ryback revealed on his podcast, I remember Big Show that was specifically asked by Vince, they wanted him kicking out of the shell shock, which if it was up to me, nobody ever would. But I also didn't have a problem because Big Show, later that year, when I switched back to babyface, put me over time and time again, whether it was for the IC title or live events defending that. I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. When asked about black representation in WWE, Booker T had this to say about it on his Hall of Fame podcast. One thing about wrestling, I think back then, the reason why we did not gravitate to it was because we didn't see anyone like us that looked like us that was working at the top level. So now hopefully I gave a little bit of an inspiration to young people, blacks, people of color, who want to try to get into wrestling. That's why I look at someone like Bianca Belair and I say, man, she's money. She's money all day. When I look at Carmelo Hayes, I say, let's put the rocket on this boy, man, because he could be looking down saying, look, I'm on top of the world, mom. All I need is a chance and an opportunity. But more importantly, he's got the talent to be able to do it. Touching on his upcoming match against Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel, Bobby Lashley revealed to CBS Sports that he thinks this feud will extend beyond this Saturday's event. You know what? The way that I look at it, because there was so much actual lead up, because there's been years and years and years of lead up, because of the way things have come together with us, I don't think this is the last time we're gonna see each other. I think until the end of my career or the end of his career, there's always gonna be Bobby and Brock. Because right now, I look at the score. It's 1 for me, 0 for him. So if it's 2 for me and 0 for him after Crown Jewel, I'm sure he's going to be coming back for another one. He's got to avenge his losses. So I like the build-up because I think the build-up is really important because of what happened last time. Because there wasn't that real resolution to anything except me pinning him. This time, there's going to be a lot more hype. And I think that it's not going to be the last time. I think there's so much more that me and Brock can actually get into. So I think that this feud is going to be a feud that's going to keep going and it's going to keep looking different. And there's going to be a lot more involved with it. This time, I think this might be a time where I can finally put him away, but I don't think Brock's the type of person that's just going to let somebody beat him 2 times in a row and then not even come to avenge that. So I like it, and I like the competitor he is because Brock doesn't care. Brock wants to fight. Brock wants to hurt, and since he wants to, then he's got to come with it. Staying on the topic of Bobby Lashley, Vince Russo would note what he thinks is next for the Almighty after his program with Lesnar, saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If that's the plan and that's what it would look like to me, so Lashley is going to get the big win over Brock just to be fed to Roman Reigns. And then he's right back where he started. That's the problem with all this. On Busted Open Radio, Brian Pillman Jr. revealed that he had a conversation with a WWE Hall of Famer prior to him joining AEW, as he said, I got a DM from Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's like, hey bud, you know, I've got this weightlifting belt that was your dad's. I want to give it to you. Me and your pops were best buds. I want to tell you some stories. You got a minute? I'm like, do I have a minute? I'll skip class. I just stand outside the little campus building and chat with Steve Austin for about 45 minutes. He tells me some great stuff, and by the end of it, I thought, you know what, Steve, I've been thinking. I'm here, I'm about to graduate school and start a BS job. I was like, you think I could ever get into the pro wrestling business? He's like, I want to let you know your dad would want you to do whatever would make you happy. You know what I mean? He's like, this business ain't going anywhere. He's like, don't do it just to do it. Known to WWE fans as Kane, mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs recently had this to say about all-age drag shows, as he wrote on Twitter. Over the past couple days, my office has been flooded with calls concerning all-ages drag shows. Let me be clear. I don't care what consenting adults do, but leave kids out of it. As mayor, I will do everything I can to ensure these events don't happen on Knox County property. Mike Bennett would respond writing, we took our 4-year-old and 2-year-old to a LGBTQ festival here in the town I live in. There was a drag show. They had an absolute blast. They now refer to it as the Dragon Festival. My son will dress up with his sister in a tutu and play with monster trucks. Let's let kids be kids. Ex-WWE talent known in the promotion as Conrad Tanner during his time in FCW, Kyle Garrett Rasmussen was arrested for attempting to strangle a man driving from the back seat of a car, according to the Detroit News. This would lead to his girlfriend getting struck by a moving car while trying to flee the scene. Ringside News would write regarding the matter, according to local police, Rasmussen was a passenger in a 2012 Chevrolet Silverado that was headed west on M59 when he attempted to grab the steering wheel and choke the driver. The driver managed to stop his truck near Adams Road and fled. Rasmussen's girlfriend, Sarah Ratcliffe, also attempted to flee the scene. However, Sarah was struck by a moving vehicle just 100 meters from the parked truck. The sheriff's office is searching for the driver that hit his late girlfriend. When it comes to information regarding the investigation into the Vince McMahon hush money scandal, which led to the former chairman and CEO of WWE stepping down, the company would announce that, as previously announced, a special committee of independent members of the board of directors was formed to investigate alleged misconduct by Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the company's former chairman and chief executive officer, who resigned from all positions held with the company on July 22nd, but remains a stockholder with a controlling interest, and another executive who is also no longer with the company. The special committee investigation is now complete, and the special committee has been disbanded. Management is working with the board to implement the recommendations of the special committee related to the investigation. For the 3 and 9 month periods ended September 30th, the company's consolidated pre-tax results include the impact of $17.7 million and $19.4 million, respectively, associated with certain costs related to the investigation. Please see the company's SEC filings, including but not limited to its annual report on Form 10-KA and quarterly reports on Form 10-QA and Form 10-Q for further details and ongoing risks regarding this matter. During a media appearance on Busted Open, AEW President Tony Khan would mention CM Punk, which seems to be proof that the investigation into the all-out brawl is indeed over. As he said, "We've demonstrated the great history of the Ring of Honor Championship. Of course, Chris Jericho is the champion now, but there have been a lot of great Ring of Honor champions. Some of the big names that have held the title and some of the great former champions include AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Claudio Castagnoli, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and many others. So a lot of great wrestlers across Ring of Honor and people in AEW, people in WWE, New Japan, all over the world that have held that belt. And it's really one of the most prestigious title lineages in all of wrestling." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.